What's up, Ragin Nation? How's it going? This is Alex, and you're watching the TF Movie Show. This is just a web series. We're talking about the Transformers film franchise. This is episode number 83, and you've seen my toy hunt video, Ragin Nation Toy Show. Thank you so much for all the love, the excitement, and enthusiasm. I hope we can do more of those. You've seen my non-spoiler review and my spoiler review for Transformers Rise of the Beast. And I talked about a lot of things that I liked about the film. I got into some really fine details. Now, after seeing it 4 times in the theaters, and I want to go back for a 5th time, I want to talk about the things that could use some improvement. I'm going to talk about 10 things in no particular order. One of them is a complaint. One of them is a complaint. The other 9 things are things that could use an improvement. But keep in mind that I'm not really complaining about the film. These are not things that really hurt the film at all. There's a reason why I gave this film a 9 out of 10. Okay, and that is because it wasn't perfect for one reason, and that's reason number 1, which I'm going to get to at the end of the movie. But let's talk about the other 9 reasons, which, like I said before, don't get it twisted. These are not complaints. These are things that I thought that after thinking about it a little bit more could use some improvement, or I had some expectations there. So let's just jump right into it. Okay, number 10. Airazor didn't transform. I wish she transformed. I would have loved to see her robot mode, and unfortunately, she got taken out by Optimus Primal before she even got to maximize with the rest of her maximal companions. So that is really, really unfortunate. We never got to see her robot mode. We only get to see her robot mode in toy form. So, it is a Transformers film, so, it's kind of unfortunate that Airazor didn't get to transform. So that's unfortunate. Number 9. Where was that scene with Optimus Prime versus Transit? Yes, I seen the interview. Stephen Cable Jr. said he might include it in a deleted scene, but he had to take it out for a reason. And I trust his judgment. I trust his decision rather. And but of course, we're Transformers fan. We want to see more robot action. For us, it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt to see another robot fight, especially if Optimus Prime comes up victorious, right? And of course, we would love to see, Optimus Prime fighting Transit and Optimus Prime winning against Transit is actually a show of Optimus Prime as a leader, as a fighter, and his sheer strength as a leader of the Autobots. So, it's not just an action scene for the sake of being an action scene. It's a part of the character. It's a representation of the character. So, I respect the decision that for him to take it out, but it would have, nobody's complaining about it, about it being in there if it were in there, right? So it should have been in there, okay? Number 8. I'll be completely honest, I love the way they portrayed Arcee, but she was kind of weak, okay? I love the fact that Arcee had a lot of scenes, okay? I love the fact that they did quite a bit with her character, right? But I felt that she could have done more. First of all, with regards to Arcee, I would have wanted 3 things from her. I would have loved to see a more close-up, slowed-down transformation with her. Give her the details. Her transformations were so quick. It only took literally 1.5 seconds. And then there she is. I get it. She's a smaller Autobot. There are fewer parts, so, it's not going to take a long time. But had they just, mounted the camera on the Ducati and then, have it pan along, close up, that would have been a little bit cooler. Her transformations are so quick. She just does the flip, then she's a robot mode. It doesn't even look like a transformation at all. The second thing that I would have liked is for her shots to connect. You see her always shooting, but none of the shots actually connect. It brings me back to the days of the Michael Bay films where, you see Autobots and Decepticons shooting everywhere, but none of the shots actually connect. And I'd like to see them connect so that we know that, she's a good fighter, or at least the Autobots can actually aim. We do see some connections. Mirage and Bumblebee have been blasting away at Terrorcons, but Arcee's guns never connected with anything. At least they did not. We didn't see any of it. Okay. The final thing I would have liked to see is Arcee versus Nightbird. Come on. That was a missed opportunity. You know that was a missed opportunity. We would have totally loved to see Arcee and Nightbird go at it. Arcee's agile. She's a motorcycle. Wouldn't it be cool if, Arcee used her agility as a Ducati and a smaller Autobot to, like, do some acrobatics and jump around versus a Terrorcon ninja, especially one that could fly? I mean, I would have liked to see that rivalry, right? So, that should have been there. Number 7, where was Stratosphere the whole time? You know what? The Autobots and the Maximals were outnumbered in the final battle. Stratosphere, he had a really important part. He brought back Bumblebee, okay, to the final battle, and he transported Bumblebee to the final battle. He had a very important role. Maybe he's not a fighter because not all Autobots need to be fighters, but still, he would have helped out a lot in the battle. I mean, look at all those Terrorcon minions he could have stomped. Right? And I'd like to see his giant cannons, you know what I'm saying? So, where was Stratosphere the whole time? It reminds me of how Optimus Prime is just kind of missing in action until the very last moment in the Michael Bay films, right? Number 6, I wish the final battle was not just a whole bunch of Terrorcon minions, like endless amount of Terrorcon minions versus the Maximals and the Autobots. And the reason why is because you get things like what I talked about, a lot of scenes of just Arcee and other Autobots just shooting aimlessly. And all the fights just seem very impersonal. You know what I'm saying? The only scene that I like the most, that is not just the Scourge fight, is when Optimus and Optimus Primal work together against Battletrap. Okay, I like that the most because you see Autobots and Maximals working together. Sure, it was a short-lived scene, but you actually see a character, like good characters versus an evil character, versus as opposed to rather a whole bunch of Terrorcon minions that just come out of nowhere, and it feels a little bit empty. I mean, it's still spectacular, and don't get me wrong, this is still the best Transformers film, but when you bring back minions, like I said before, it reminds us back in the days of the Michael Bay films, where there's endless amount of enemies. Okay, when there's endless amount of enemies, it's really just, you can extend the action for as long as you want because the enemies will never stop coming, right? But at least if you have actual Terrorcon characters, let's say there's more than 3 Terrorcons, and they have to fight off like 3 more, but really strong ones, then it gives you more excitement, makes the scene more intense. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Number 5, I wish they got rid of Freezer. Once again, I hate to keep on saying this, but it brings me back to the days of the Michael Bay films where they have characters like a Reedman and Frenzy. We've seen this type of design before, where there are these creepy, crawly, type of Decepticons that are very like razor thin, and they got like razor blades for hand or arms or whatever. We've seen this type of design before, and I thought I was kind of done with that design, right? And I think they could have done I wish they could have done something else. Like, for example, they could have had a Terrorcon dirt bike. It's a smaller Terrorcon that could have gone, through the museum, or an ATV, small enough to transform into something else that looks less like Frenzy. You know what I'm saying? Freezer was just kind of, like a cousin of Frenzy, and we've seen that before. So I wish they did less of that and more of just like an actual robot, right? Number 4, missed opportunity was Optimus Primal versus Scourge. Having an actual revenge or avenging the death of Ape Link. Come on, where was that? Having Optimus Primal go up against Scourge, at least, to help the Optimus Prime fight, would have been like what I thought was a missed opportunity in Avengers Endgame, and that is Thanos versus Hulk, or the rematch for Thanos versus Hulk, because Thanos beat the living crap out of Hulk at the beginning of Endgame. Was it Endgame or Infinity War? Anyway, yeah, Infinity War rather. So I would have loved to see that rematch, just like I would have loved to see the rematch of Optimus Primal versus Scourge, to get the avenge Ape Link's death. You know what I'm saying? So that was a missed opportunity. Number 3, more Maximal screen time. We saw a lot of Maximals as the Maximals, but what about in their robot modes after they maximize? Come on, everybody knows that their screen time was very, very short-lived. It was very music video style, where you just see them in the, just fighting, scenes of them fighting minions, but not really, like, none of the fights are really that meaningful, right? Optimus Primal took out a bunch of Scorponok's, right? But then the other two were just, like, taking out Terrorcon minions. So it's really just a filler scene when you really, really think about it. It's not really a substantial fight scene, right? So I wish they actually could have fight actual Terrorcon characters as opposed to minions, okay? Number 2, I wish that just like the Autobots, I wish that the Terrorcons utilized their vehicle modes more. Not just to drive around on a highway chase in Peru, but to use it just like, remember in Bumblebee, you had Decepticons like the two Decepticons, Dropkick and Shatter. Like, they transformed in and out of their triple changer modes. The Terrorcons don't need to be triple changers, but at least during their fight scenes, it would have been cool if they transformed back into their vehicle modes, just like how Mirage used his vehicle mode, Bumblebee used his vehicle mode, Optimus Prime uses vehicle mode, Arcee not so much, Wheeljack not so much, right? They were kind of the background characters, but I would have loved to see the Terrorcons utilize their vehicle modes, because, like, you got Scourge in this brutal looking truck, right? This really evil looking truck. That would have been cool to see him ram into things. And Nightbird is a Skyline, right? So she could have been, like, really, really fast, just like driving really fast in a really sweet car chase, transforming in and out of the modes. I mean, it was really only Battletrap that was able to utilize his tow truck mode in a functional way. So that worked for the Peru chase, but like I said, I would have liked to see them use more of that, because I want them to constantly remind us that these are robots in disguise. These aren't just robots. I mean, we can watch any type of robot movie. These are Transformers. We need to see them transform, just because it adds more to the excitement and the theme of the whole Transformers concept, right? Okay, now that's my list of things that could use some improvement for the 9 things for this video. Now I'm gonna, none of these are actual complaints, okay? These are just things that, I think they could have done it better when you look back, right? But I'm still cool with the movie. Like I said, I give it a 9 out of 10. But this is the one thing that I have a major complaint about. This is the reason why I didn't give it a perfect score, okay? It could have been a 10 out of 10. They screwed up Wheeljack. You know it. Come on, you know it. They screwed up Wheeljack. I mean, he could have been a different alt mode. But most importantly, he could have been a completely different design. He shouldn't have been that design. He's not the Wheeljack I know. The Wheeljack I know was the one that was represented by Travis Knight in the Battle for Cybertron in Bumblebee. Okay, that's the way Wheeljack should have looked. They got the design for it. Why did they make him a totally different character? I mean, if I had a legitimate reason to complain, it's just this one time that they decided to do that. And I hope that, Stephen T. Cable Jr. comes back for the next the follow-up to this film, and just retcon that one aspect and bring back Wheeljack in his original mode. I don't know what they're going to do about the voice actor, but Wheeljack really didn't need to be to have a Spanish accent. You know what I'm saying? So they really messed up Wheeljack. They didn't need to do that. They could have just named him Pablo. Right? That's it. They could have just named them that, and then it would have been a completely different character. I mean, it's fun when they introduce brand new characters that we don't know about, but they decided to bring back a beloved Autobot engineer, and they messed him up. So that's really my only complaint about this film. But, I mean, you guys feel me, right? I mean, I listed 10 things, and looking back at those 10 things, that had they incorporated every single one of those things that I mentioned, then I think they would have made an extraordinary film that is beyond expectations, okay? Because, they already filmed Transit versus Optimus Prime. They just took it out, right? I'm sure, obviously, with the amount of action and CGI that I suggesting, obviously it'll skyrocket the budget a bit, right? I mean, substantially. But still, these are the things that we expect when we watch Transformers films, right? Anyways, still, I love this film. I love this film so much. It's a much tighter film than the Michael Bay films, at least the sequels. It flows much better. It's more cohesive. I like that it's simpler, and I love the G1 lore. And you know, it's a huge improvement over the Transformers sequels that Michael Bay gave us. So, anyways, that is my spoiler chat for what could be improved for Transformers Rise of the Beast. I almost said the last night. No. Why did I do that? Anyways, that's all I got to say. What do you guys think about my suggestions? Let me know about what are some of the things that you think could improve the film, and in the comment section below, and let's talk about it. My name is Arcee. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Peace.